Evan. Oh! Okay, let me see if my microphone's on. Testing. Can you guys hear us over on
King of Cultivation.
Facebook
No
and
crown?
Twitch? I'm sorry, I forgot the crown.
You could have gone to Burger King for breakfast and had crowns.
Okay, I believe we are live. Let me know if you guys can hear us on all platforms. Hello, Maddie. Hello, Nicole. Hi, Brittany. Hello, Shane. Hello, Elena. Made it over from TikTok. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Cameron. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Landon. Hello, Lauren. Hi, the Styles Pups. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Abby. Good morning, Olivia. Hello, Carissa. Okay,
Hello,
we're ready.
everyone.
We're ready. You want to talk about what we're going to talk about?
Sure.
Get after it.
Well, why don't you go get after it?
All right, I'm going to go plant some plants. I'll see you.
No, go grab us some seedlings and bring them on up. Let's introduce
Okay.
everybody
Okay.
to the girls.
Okay. You got it.
So I'm gonna slide over her a second so you can see behind us. Lauren's gonna go grab one of these flats, and we're gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on in the greenhouse and how we start our season off so we can get these plants growing to make these awesome products for y'all. So come on down. That was your Vanna White moment.
Oh, no, I really
All right,
liked it.
so introducing, drum roll please. Brrrr. That means Suver Haze to me.
Ooh.
I know the coding in here.
Okay.
So we have Suver Haze. We've got 36 feminized ladies here.
What does that mean, Brooke?
Feminized.
Start
That was
talking
good.
the
See?
microphone.
That was good. Oh, I'm
Oh,
kicking over cameras here.
It's okay. You're passionate. It's fine.
So feminized means that these have been bred to be females only, which means we don't have any males in the batch, so there's no pollen production. So let me back up. No, these are not genetically modified. They are not modified in a lab or anything weird like that. These are hybridized by some of the best guys in the game, and we get our crop seeds for this particular variety from Oregon CBD. And those guys are well known for their wonderful varieties, and they've been working with the University of Oregon for years to develop some of the best strains that we can bring to you to add all types of benefit and quality of life to you. So ultimately, we've got Suver Haze here, 36 feminized ladies. And why we don't want the pollen is because if there's a male that pollinates the female plant will begin to make seed. And so we don't need that seed.
Is that like her babies?
Those are her babies.
Wow.
And so seed production is done separately in the hemp world. So you're either growing for seed specifically, or like us, we're growing for flower. And that flower, we want to have all of the energy involved in making flower and not seeds. So feminized seeds, no pollen, which allows these girls to put all their energy into making flowers. You can put old Suver Haze back down if you want.
Well, hold on. I'm going to make it so our camera over on Instagram looks a little better.
Is this on?
This is really, that is on. This is really heavy.
So it's really heavy. So what we do is we fill it with a mix of potting soil and fertilizer that we use. And we use a blend that contains cocoa. And cocoa is a sustainable resource as opposed to peat moss, because peat moss is dug out of peat bogs, which are basically large holes in the ground. And with the coconuts, we use the fiber from the leftover coconut husks. It's ground up and it holds a wonderful amount of water and air. And when you're growing plants, you know those roots need lots of water and lots of air. So again, we use a blend of cocoa. There's perlite in there and all types of organic amendments that help feed the plants. Pick up somebody else. Let's get somebody else. Grab another flat. Let's see who else we got in the room. Get something with a tag so we can identify her. And if you're looking here, you can see we've got the Nexus greenhouse. Above us are our lights. You can see them here and here and here, and our brightest light right here. Bing.
I'm the brightest light. Am I the brightest light?
Yes.
Oh, that was the
She's the loudest light, too.
All right. There he is. He humbles me.
Okay, we've got-
Compliment and then I'm humbled. It's sour space candy.
Well, I
Right?
was going to build up to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sour Space Candy.
Okay, we're working on our flow, everyone.
So, if you look at these girls, they are past the true leaf stage, and the cotyledon are down here. Yes, cotyledon, that's a scientific term. And these larger leaves are growing straight up. These will be fan leaves, and they collect all the sun like big solar panels. And so
Whoa.
these girls will stay in here. This is a 36 cell flat, so that means there's 36 in here. They will stay in here for about 4 to 5 weeks, and then they will go directly into the fields. So this is how we start all of our little seedlings.
Wow. Can you talk about the first true leaves?
Well, the first true leaves are the first leaves that pop out outside of these little baby leaves here.
What did you call the bottom leaves?
They're called the cotyledon.
Okay.
And so if you look right here, actually, I'll pull it off. The seed is still, I dropped it.
Oh,
But on some of these, the seed is still there on the stem.
let's see if we can get it.
And what's nice to know is that the seed actually
Point to it.
contains all of the nutrition that the plant needs to start. So it's kind of like it comes with a little backpack of food built in,
Shut up.
like a little baby with a little bottle. And so when you
the
plant
seed
that,
is the bottle?
the seed has a bottle in it. The seed is like a little compartment for the baby and the bottle. And then the food is in there in the seed, and you just add water, and then she pops right up.
So
In about
she's
3 or 4 days, she comes up, and this is about 5 days old.
So she's independent.
She's an independent woman.
Nice. So how many times do you have to water her at this stage?
We like to mist these girls and keep the humidity high and the temperature between about 65 and 85 degrees. And
That
so
seems
we,
like a broad temperature range.
well, we have to simulate that night and day that happens out in nature, and that gives a rest period for the plant, and it also allows the inner hormones like auxins and cytokinins and gibberellins
What are
to
those?
balance. Those are the plant's hormones.
I'm genuinely curious. I don't know. He's saying spitting facts, and I'm sitting here like, what?
Just like people and animals, plants
It's like
have their own
estrogen and
hormones.
testosterone?
Yes, plants have their own, and the balance of those hormones dictate how tall they're growing or how bushy they're growing or how fast they're growing. And so we can influence the rate of those hormones by feeding different things or spraying different compost teas, or even taking other plants that have been ground up and spraying other plants on them like kelp. Kelp is a plant that lives in a harsh environment in the sea. And so we can take kelp, which is high in all of these wonderful hormones, and spray them on our plants and use their hormones to affect our ladies.
In a good way.
In a good way, we're using
They're
the...
not moody. Their hormones are in check.
No, we just want them to grow fast and healthy and to be big and beautiful as they can.
Aww. This is 5 days. Is that what you said?
5 days, yeah.
This seems like really good.
We have perfect conditions in the greenhouse. And so we
Brook is
also...
a perfectionist, y'all. He is a perfectionist. A perfectionist. I'll be the first to say it. He also is so passionate about this plant. Like, one time we were going to do this stream, and things weren't going to plan at the farm, and he was just like, I can't. I'm sorry. I cannot. Like, these ladies are his top priority always. Always.
Job security. Got to take care of the ladies.
And bring it back down. Reel it back in. Okay, well, this is heavy. I'm going to go set it down. Everyone say bye to Sour Space Candy. And this is a sativa cultivar. So it's very invigorating. It's one of my mom's favorites for the summertime, actually. She talked about it on a lo-fi.
I will say it's probably... Jesse asked me, what's your favorite to grow? And I don't really have an answer. But I would say Sour Space Candy is one of my favorite to look at.
Why is that?
Because if you don't top the plant, which means take the very top off and make her bushy, she will grow one huge cola. And when she grows a big one, it's usually one of the biggest ones in the room. And so her sheer size, her and Bayox is probably the biggest, is probably why she is one of my favorite to grow, not because of any other quality other than her size. She's a big, beautiful girl.
How long have you been growing?
I've been growing plants for my whole life since I was a kid.
Wow.
But I've been growing cannabis for on and off for over 10 years.
That's so cool. Okay, bye, Sour Space Candy.
Bye.
Do y'all have any questions for Brook? Do you have any degrees?
I got a PhD in THC.
That's good. What about CBD?
I got a PhD in CBD
CBD,
too.
there we go.
I do teach a little class at the Caldwell Community College. I don't have any. I do have some degrees. Yeah, I have a degree in philosophy. I have a degree in religion, and I had a minor in sociology. But ultimately, that led me to understand that plants, no matter where you are in the world, they affect culture. And cannabis is a plant that has affected all of the world's culture in a variety of different ways, whether that's been through food or through medicine or through infrastructure and clothing. And so, yeah, my degrees in those particular areas have led to me understanding how important cannabis is. And so my experience in growing is ultimately what has given me any expertise. I also do own a small chain of grow stores, so I've been serving farmers for years, and I've been growing for years. So I'm happy to share these facts with you. And we got any more questions? What we got?
We don't have any questions. I think people
Well,
are
heck.
just enjoying listening to you talk.
Well, stick around.
I could probably think about a million questions. So you have to buy a certain kind of light bulb.
You don't have to,
Why do you?
because I like the best light bulbs there are.
There's quality of light bulbs.
Everything that influences the growing environment has the option of being purchased as cheap or high quality. The lights behind us here are 1,000 watt double-ended high pressure sodiums.
What does that mean?
It means they draw 1,000 watts worth of electricity. They burn a high pressure sodium gas inside a glass arc tube. And these particular ones, instead of having a screw-in type bulb socket, they have a hot electrical lead that comes out of the glass on both sides. So they're really efficient. And what this does is it burns a red gas. Oh, what was my first fish show? Now we're talking.
Y'all, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we got some questions.
It was paused on someone's comment that said amazing that whole time, and we couldn't see any of your comments. Now we can see your comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick, my first fish show was Raleigh, 1997, where the lightning show was.
What advice would you give a beginner hemp farmer? We have some questions to catch up on. I have made a mistake. I couldn't.
Okay.
It was paused. I'm sorry.
Okay, how does the plant get transformed into like buds, vape, and all that? Okay, so the plant, that's going to be real quick. The plant grows up in its vegetative form. It's growing up, and then as the light cycle changes and we get less light, it gets out, and the buds start forming, just like a rose. Flowers grow, and that's what our bud is. We take those buds, we clip them, we dry them, and then we extract the oils from them. Those oils are then put into your vape, and that's what you're using. I mean, diffuser. And your stoke stick. So that's the quick end on that. Advice for a beginner hemp farmer: if you're going to start growing hemp, maybe start with other people who are doing it. Help them out and learn. Don't be afraid to get your feet wet, but don't put more money into it than you're willing to lose, because it's a pretty tough environment. I've been through a number of different businesses and kind of formats to get where I am now. So not everybody makes it. It's a tough business. Farming always is. So just take it easy, learn as much as you can, and try to learn from the best.
Is it easy to transfer from a regular plant nursery to a nursery that grows CBD? I love hearing y'all talk about the ladies.
Yes, if you have nursery experience already, it's easier because you've got some of the infrastructure that exists, and you've got some of the terminology, and you know how plant management is something you do daily. So yes, you just need to learn the ins and outs of cannabis in particular, and that will allow you to do quite well. Ultimately, just choose good genetics and get some good advice. You'll be fine.
Did you grow to smoke in the beginning?
I always grew to eat food first because I was always a hungry person. I did grow all types of cannabis because I did like smoking and ingesting all types of cannabinoids, and I still do. So ultimately, I grow legal hemp in a legal state because that's where I live in North Carolina. So I abide by all the legal state and federal laws. So if anything I do THC related, it's done outside of the state. But here we are CBD only, and all the other legal compounds that are below 0.30 THC.
Brook is the best. I love his voice, says Cameron. I'm trying to see if I missed any other comments along the way. I'm sorry, guys. I could listen to him talk about the ladies all day. He's so knowledgeable about it all, and I love it. Yes, Maddie, right? I'm telling y'all. Wow, I didn't know y'all had a YouTube channel. Love checking that out. Yes, love that. Prayer hands. They were talking about prayer hands, the praying hands. This is awesome. Let's see. This is not Babbling Brook. It's Beast Brook.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do these ladies, are these the ladies that you were thinning out the other day? Cameron wants to know.
We weren't thinning anything out. We were doing some transplanting, but ultimately, no, we're not thinning anything out yet. When it comes to thinning, that's when we basically remove a bunch of the foliage to let light get inside the plant. We'll show you that along the way. This is kind of the beginning of the journey of the season. So you're right here with us in the start of it. So we're going to take you from seedlings to planting them in the field, putting them in the greenhouse, up to thinning them out, and you're going to learn along with us. So stay tuned to these weekly updates because this is how we learn. How do we control THC? We don't control it. More or less, what we do is we let the genetics express themselves, and we use genetics that are proven to not have really high THC. Now, can that change? Can it be influenced? Yes, ultimately, stress is probably the largest influencer of THC production. So we try to not stress our plants, but at the same time, some stress will increase other cannabinoids that are desirable. So it's a delicate balance, but genetics are the number one way that we make sure we are compliant. We buy compliant genetics.
Do you guys use every part of the plant?
In some way, yes. We have a number of different avenues from which the plant is used. Some of them are products that you're getting. Some of them are things that you don't ever see. So you can come out to the compost pile. Ultimately, if it can't be used for something, we compost it and it goes right back into the field, which makes more plants for you. We have had some prototype stuff done where people come get the stalks and make paper. We've taken the leaves and given them to people for ornamental use at weddings. We've given stuff to juice bars for juicing. So there is an avenue for everything.
One time we gave the sticks to an animal shelter for the dogs.
My dog loves to chew on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different things.
What's your favorite? Marilyn wants to know what your favorite is.
Favorite what?
Probably lady.
Again, I don't have a favorite. I personally look at the test results to see who has the most compounds because I figure the more the merrier. And so that changes on each harvest. But I like Sour Space Candy and Bayox because of their structure and the way they look and how big they are.
Nice. Let's see. How long do you want to do? Want to do a couple more questions?
Sure, if they got them.
If y'all have any more questions, I'm sorry about that earlier. That's so funny. We were just sitting here looking at the same comment the entire time, and I was like, man, I thought y'all would have some questions. And then I scrolled, and it was just like a ton of questions. We should do ASMR.
I don't know what you said. You whispered.
ASMR.
I don't know what that means.
ASMR. What does ASMR even stand for, y'all? Okay. Let's see. We don't have any questions over on Fit. How do you control the levels of THC? You do have a
Well, we kind of just talked about that.
Oh.
The genetics, and again, it's just genetic expression. We purchase from reliable seed breeders, and we grow them the way we're told to, and that's what we do.
Are we growing any new strains soon?
We do have some new things coming down the pipe. I'm not really allowed to talk about all that yet. I can tell you what's in the room here. We have the usual suspects, but the new ones in the room are some of the usual suspects with a little extra sour punch. And that's all I'm going to throw out there right now. So, and I don't even know if I was cleared to say that, but.
Probably not. It's okay. I asked the question.
Okay.
It's fine.
So yeah, we got something sour coming down the line, a few different ones. And then we've also got some of our own stuff down deep in the lab getting worked on. So
The lab. What
stick
do you
around.
do if you get pulled over and you have the ladies in your car? How can they prove what it is? I say, what do you say?
I say nothing at all. I plead the fifth. I don't talk to the cops at all. I want my lawyer. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, we kindly and politely explain, officer, this is hemp, legal here in North Carolina. I either have a permit or a receipt for it. It's in its appropriate packaging, which clearly explains that it's legal as a test result or a link to a test result on it. And I'd like to show that to you if we can have a conversation about that. And so we're just honest and polite about it. And ultimately, most law enforcement understand that it's legal and this product is something you can buy at any store.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they don't, then you plead the fifth and you ask for your lawyer.
Yeah, and if they take it to get it tested, I mean, it's like, what a joke. But regardless.
A little story. Can we tell a story?
Absolutely.
So just because they tested doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. Recently, a guy had bird poop on his car, and another guy had Krispy Kreme donut, crunchy cream in his car, and it tested positive for methamphetamine.
Are you serious?
These are real stories, people. We live in a crazy world.
I just got my my first order over the weekend, and Cherry Mom is the best. I have slept so well, and I'm just a few days, and in just a few days, my anxiety has improved so much. That's awesome. Okay, let's do one more question, and then we'll hop off here. So you begin the plants with seeds. How long does it take until you put the plant in the ground?
Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're timing things perfectly outside with nature. And so we want to get our seeds in right before the summer solstice. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year, which means the most sunlight. So if you know much about cannabis, most varieties of cannabis are photoperiod dependent. And that means they have to have over 12 hours of light. Closer to 16 or 18 is even better to make the plant grow in its vegetative stage. Now, for the plant to flower, it takes 12 hours or less of light to get it to trigger that. So right now, we want our plants to grow up and out really big before they start flowering. So indoors, we start our plants about 4 to 6 weeks before we want to plant them. We want to plant them about 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, before the summer solstice, and we're close to that now. So we're going to time the lighting, boom, right above me. We're going to time those lights with the same amount of sun we have outdoors. The plants think they're indoors and outdoors at the same time because they can't tell the difference. And then right when the timing's right, in 3 to 4 weeks, they'll be about yay big. Sorry. We'll pull them out of these little cells and we'll put them in the field. And then as they grow through the solstice, they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as we approach the fall, the sun will get less and less and less and less. And that will trigger the hormones, like we talked about, inside the plant to begin flowering. And so that's what's happening in nature, is that as the summer solstice passes and the days begin shorter, the plants are told that their life cycle is coming to an end, and they wonderfully and beautifully and eloquently finish their life cycle and grow their beautiful buds and their little babies. And ours, particularly, no seeds, but in the other plants around, there's many seeds. We'll have sunflowers in the field and things like that.
Lauren's mind is blown right now. That was so sweet. That just teared me up. That was so sweet. The end of their life cycle?
The green juice tastes like plants.
Oh, yeah, we do have green juice questions. Sorry, I was trying to let Brooke talk.
Tastes like plants.
Well, no, but it's like more of a neutral flavor.
It does, but I mean, it's got an earthy feel, right?
It's an earthy feel, but I feel like Trevor says it almost tastes like a fresh celery juice because it's just like more basic. It's not like a super acidic green juice, so it really blends well into like any juices. That's really interesting. I actually have one more question.
Sure.
So, what's it called? Like, so these are derived from cannabis plants, but like people basically, people, if they're watching, they're like, well, how? It's not cannabis because it doesn't have high THC.
It is cannabis.
So talk about that, please.
And all of these are cannabis plants, but there's different types of cannabis. So this family of cannabis that we're in basically has sativas and indicas and ruderalis. And the particular ones, and here's another interesting fact. The two most manipulated gene pools in the world are cannabis and dogs. They've been bred more than anything. And so those...
More than humans?
Other than humans.
I'm sorry, I'm just the peanut.
Lauren's mind's in the gutter.
I'm bred more. No, it's just.
We're talking about the birds and the bees here.
Oh my God.
I forgot what we were
I'm the
even talking
peanut
about.
gallery. Fun fact: cannabis and dogs.
Oh yeah. They're more manipulated than anything. So the genetics around cannabis are vast and they are very deep. And what that means is there are so many different types of cannabis plants to pull from that the breeders that made these plants were able to cross by the pollen of one plant, getting on the female of another variety, and creating a hybrid of the two. They were able to do that over and over again to create a variety that was low in THC. Now, the industrial hemp that people know for making rope and fiber has always been a variety that was low in THC. It was naturally like that.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And so those genetics were able to be brought in, and that's what allows us to bring THC down from a genetic breeding standpoint, is that you can use existing cultivars that are low in THC, and you can breed them with higher THC ones, and ones that can bring it down after multiple breedings. That's not what I specialize in, but ultimately we leave that to the professionals, and there's plenty of good companies out there That's all they do is they breed plants. They do testing, and that's what we do. We buy from the best breeders, and that allows us to rely on the genetics, rely on having THC compliant cultivars, which allows us to run a business ultimately.
Yep.
Because the laws are changing so much, and we're always ducking and diving to get to where we got to be because it's always changing. It's a moving target.
That's so cool. So the last question we have, so cannabis, dogs, and then Brian wants to know, what about rabbits?
Rabbits probably been bred quite a bit, but you don't see rabbits carried around like pets like dogs are. I mean, don't get me wrong, we live in Nashville, so we see a lot of weird pets, pet goats.
I saw a wolf once. I saw someone with a pet wolf.
Ty here has a pet wolf dog.
Like, wolf. Was not bred to have the animated eyeballs, like, was a wolf.
When you see a rabbit the size of a Great Dane and the size of a pug, then we'll talk. Until then, dogs and cannabis. And people, Lauren. People have been breeding, yes.
Okay.
It's how you were made.
Okay, I'm going to have to get off here and call my mom, everyone.
Mommy.
Okay, this has been so much fun. Yes, Lex, I love I caught this live. I'm always down to learn how all this works. Yes, I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you guys so much, everyone, for tuning in. This has been fun. Do you have any parting words? We're going to do this every single Monday morning. Are you down?
I'm down.
Wait, okay, except for next Monday.
Except for next Monday.
Because it's Memorial Day.
Well, that's even more reason to do it.
I won't be here.
I will.
Okay. I love it.
We're taking over.
I love it. I'll see you guys later. I had one other thing. Oh, Babbling Brook or mic drop. There it went. There was the mic drop. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.